Welcome, everyone, to our Insider's Guide to Dreamforce 2017. Yes, for those of you who didn't realize it, the biggest technology event in the world, Salesforce Dreamforce, is only days away. My name is Andrew Lee. I am the VP of Alliances and Channels at Jitterbit. And today we're going to walk you through a quick preview, what to expect at Dreamforce. What are we going to be doing, Jitterbit, as the integration and API transformation company? And how can you make your time at Dreamforce, together with Jitterbit, the most effective and the most innovative possible? The first thing is, let's start up with our special relationship with Salesforce.com. Salesforce.com is not just one of many ecosystems that we work with. As an integration and API company, we work with all of the major cloud and on-premise platforms, whether that's Oracle, Microsoft, SAP. But with well over 200,000 customers and really being the pioneer of the cloud, over half of all of our customers have Salesforce.com as at least one of the APIs that they connect. Not only that, Salesforce.com invested very early in Jitterbit technology as they needed somebody to become their go-to cloud integration platform. Salesforce.com not only invested in the company, but uses Jitterbit to run and manage dozens of different automated processes across their organization. And we'll talk specifically about that case study because they're going to be talking about that at Dreamforce. Salesforce.com, of course, represents thousands and thousands of our customers, and we're going to be sharing with you some of those exciting customer success stories. And of course, there's Salesforce.com in terms of our sponsorship and the events and the activities that we'll be doing at the event as an official gold sponsor. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Well, really, there are three core Dreamforce 17 themes that we're going to be hearing from Salesforce during Dreamforce. The first one is the next generation economy. Salesforce is always the best at looking around corners and identifying where we're going to be tomorrow and the year after in terms of technology and go-to-market business plans. And indeed, they'll be focused in on that next generation of digital economics that all companies today, no matter your size, your shape, or geographic location, will ultimately be competing in. The second thing we're going to hear about is they're going to double and triple down in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and of course, that's all going to be encapsulated in Salesforce Einstein. And then the third, which is so exciting and refreshing to see from Salesforce, as they really are in the forefront of pushing this idea that business is about more than just making money. Business is about equality. Business is not just about your shareholders, but ultimately all of us are stakeholders. And we'll be focusing on the power of corporations, the power of business, the power of the people at Dreamforce to truly make an impact both in their local communities and their global communities abroad. Now, in terms of themes that you'll hear from Jitterbit, we'll be focusing on how can you compose digital platforms, whether that's a sales platform, a marketing platform, a customer service platform. How can you compose platforms not just from the Salesforce foundation, but from the dozens and even hundreds of available services that people are now drawing in as they build the future digital platforms of their companies. When people are building applications today, our customers tell us that there are really two ways to do that. The first is the old school way, which means that I'm going to go ahead and code or write a module for every single service and every single process that I want to digitalize within my company. And indeed, a decade ago, this is exactly what all companies did, and this is why IT projects took so long. Well, there's a fundamentally new way of building and deploying applications out to our customers and our employees. And this is the idea that I can reuse and leverage existing APIs and existing services to completely reorchestrate and recompose very rapidly new customer experiences, new employee experiences, and new partner experiences by being able to compose those APIs using a next generation integration and API platform such as Jitterbit. Now, the idea is that if I integrate all of that legacy data and process and systems that live back behind the firewall, I'm able to connect all of that information using the Jitterbit platform and then be able to connect that to all of these new innovative services that are available out in the cloud, whether that's Amazon or ADP or Concur. And of course, build all of this around a core Salesforce foundation, whether that's the Sales Cloud or the Service Cloud. I can re-architect or compose an experience that is truly differentiated, truly compelling, and make that available out to my employees, my partners, or ultimately to my customers. Now, 2 or 3 years ago, there may have been hundreds of APIs that were available, but we're now moving into a world that we're calling the API economy. And in the API economy, today there are thousands and thousands of APIs that are available to compose your new customer applications with. These APIs come in the form of existing enterprise applications from vendors like SAP or Taleo or Magento, but they also come from exciting new providers like Amazon and Jira and Shopify. And it's the way that you connect all of these services and APIs that truly will differentiate you and determine whether you succeed or lose in that new digital economy. Now, one of the exciting stories about composing an entirely new experience for employees that we'll be highlighting at Dreamforce is Salesforce themselves. And indeed, Meredith Schmidt, who's the Executive Vice President of Revenue Operations, she and her team will walk through how Salesforce is composing exciting new experiences using the Jitterbit platform, leveraging at least 5 different clouds inside Salesforce.com and connecting that to another half a dozen services within Salesforce.com to truly be able to differentiate and make an operational difference within her organization. Now, what are the sessions that you should be going to at Dreamforce 17 to really learn about composing applications? One of the first that I would recommend is listening to Stephanie Causey from Aspect Software, and she'll talk about the strategies of integrating Salesforce with other systems. My favorite is the one I just mentioned, hearing Meredith Schmidt, Jason Bieber, and their team, the team that runs all sales operations at Salesforce, and hear how they use Jitterbit to fundamentally change and transform sales operations and really revenue generation in the world of Salesforce.com. And then again, for those of you who are a little bit more technical, I would recommend hearing Encore from Keysight talk about how he's doing change data capture and data synchronization, and hearing about some of the new technologies in composing these applications, specifically around new capabilities Salesforce is rolling out around change data capture and platform events. Now, the second theme that you're going to hear from Jitterbit is, now that we can compose this next generation of enterprise applications using these microservices and APIs, how do I infuse intelligence into that orchestrated process? Indeed, intelligence, artificial intelligence, Einstein is going to be a key theme for Salesforce, and it's a key theme within the Jitterbit platform. Now, I'm connecting again to my legacy enterprise, being able to do that hybrid integration to all of those critical data sources that have accumulated within my company over the last few decades. But the difference here is once I do that integration and I have all of those processes and all that data within Jitterbit, now I'm beginning to connect that information not just with a cloud, such as the Service Cloud or the Sales Cloud or the Marketing Cloud from Salesforce, but I'm beginning to infuse that with insight and artificial intelligence that I gather from all the different AI platforms that are beginning to emerge. Of course, there's Salesforce Einstein, and it's built natively into the Salesforce platform. But there are dozens of AI services that are now available to you. A good example would be IBM Watson. SAP, of course, has Da Vinci. We know that there's the Amazon AI. We'll be showing you examples of how we can connect to any artificial intelligence API, grab insight and information from that API, infuse that into an automated process, and of course, deliver an even more delightful and compelling experience to your users, your customers, and your partners. Now, one of the great sessions is listening to Stephanie from Aspect Software. And you can see not only are they connecting all of those systems, not only are they integrating and automating all of those processes, but they're actually beginning to experiment and explore this opportunity of bringing real intelligence and real smarts to their processes to really be able to optimize the results and be able to save people time. And of course, this is the session that I mentioned earlier. You can see here we have a customer at the enterprise level that's connecting dozens of different APIs and services. They're managing and automating dozens of different business processes, and now they're ultimately transforming those through Jitterbit into smart and intelligent business processes to be able to compete in that new modern digital economy. Now, for those of you who are really interested about hearing how you can leverage AI and analytics in your automated and connected processes, what I would recommend is really coming and seeing the live demos. As always, Jitterbit will be doing live demos about connecting the clouds intelligently. We'll be talking about infusing your intelligence. We'll be showing vertical specific demos that leverage AI. And of course, we'll be also showing new technological demos showing the future of real-time integration with Salesforce leveraging platform events. All of these demos will be available at our booth. I'll show you the location in just a little bit. And of course, these demos will also be delivered live, not just at the booth, but also in the dev forest and of course in the multiple sessions that we talked about before. Now, the third and final theme for Dreamforce that you'll see from Jitterbit is not only do you connect the process and compose the new generation of application, now we infuse the intelligence and the power of AI. But once you've done that, how do you create that next generation of APIs? Build out APIs for internal users to be able to access data, be able to access processes, ultimately expose those APIs outside your firewall to partners to be able to create things like API-driven B2B gateways. Now, we know that we're entering this world of the real-time economy. The API economy was coined about 2 years ago. The real issue here is not how do we create API gateways. We're actually quite good at that. There's a number of tools where you're able to create that gateway, whether that was Google's Apogee or CA's Layer 7, and there's probably another dozen or two API gateway platforms that are available. The trick is you have to be able to connect those API gateways with the legacy systems and data that ultimately fuel them. And that's where Jitterbit is fundamentally unique. Jitterbit combines the power of traditional integration with the power of API creation and management. So we, of course, can work with existing API gateways, the likes of Apogee or Layer 7, or you can take any integration, any data source, any process that you connect and automate on the Jitterbit Harmony platform, and in the exact same platform and the same design experience, you can simply expose it as a private or public API gateway with a right click. And we'll show that to you in the live demos at the show. Now, the idea is ultimately, again, we're going to go back into that 2 or 3 decades of IT resources, whether those are legacy databases, data warehouses, transactional systems, and we're going to collect all of that important business data, and we're going to connect to all of those important legacy processes, and we're going to pull all of that disparate information into Jitterbit. And we're simply going to make that available in a set of next generation APIs. These are reusable APIs that have security, governance, and scale attached to them. The idea here is that, sure, Salesforce.com has lots of APIs, but most IT departments don't expose the Salesforce SOAP API or the REST API or the streaming API out to the entire employee base of their company, let alone expose that Salesforce API out to a partner. But with Jitterbit, I can take all of the data that's available within Salesforce.com that I get from that classic Salesforce API, and I can make it available as microservices, as discrete API gateways, as process gateways, or as data APIs, and I can make that available out to any of my employees and any of my partners in a secure, discrete, and safe and performant way. Now, a great example of one of our customers who will be at Dreamforce speaking about how they did this was Los Angeles Metropolitan Transportation Authority, basically the subway system of all of the metro. They've got the trains, they've got the buses, and really these guys are in charge of moving millions of people around one of the biggest cities in the world. And their real trick is they needed to be able to connect not just the people, not just the trains, not just the buses, but the actual kiosks that allow people to go in and out of their stations and be able to connect those in a very easy way. They chose to be able to connect those kiosks and connect that data using an API-first strategy based on the Jitterbit platform. And that then allowed them to be able to do things like allow customers to put more money on their cards more quickly, or be able to see the balance on their cards, or be able to track people's movement through stations in a far more agile and a far more loosely coupled way. So to really understand the power of APIs, again, LA Metro, one of those bleeding edge organizations that really took APIs to a whole nother level. Now, to learn more about Jitterbit APIs, I would recommend coming to these 4 sessions. For those of you who are really technical, I would go ahead and listen to Ilya Pupko. And Ilya Pupko is one of our chief architects. He's probably the guy who understands APIs better than anyone else technically at Jitterbit. For those of you who want to understand how can I use APIs to transform my digital strategy, come listen to our Chief Strategy Officer, Simon Peel, talk about how APIs can be the foundation of a true transformational strategy for a company going forward. I'll be actually talking about how you use these APIs and analytics to really make Einstein come alive, and doing a session together with Larry Dyson on Wednesday. And of course, we'll also be doing a session in the Partner Theater Wednesday at 2:30. We'll be talking about, again, how do you transform your company with APIs, but we'll be doing this as a condensed session, probably about 15 to 20 minutes in that Partner Theater for the people who want to get the summary of some of the additional sessions. Now, bottom line, our message to you coming to Dreamforce, this could be the most impactful show that you go to all year. And at Jitterbit, we're here to make it as successful as we possibly can. We believe that integration and API are absolutely crucial to your success as not only an individual, but your company's success in the new digital marketplace. And here are some of the things that you can do with us. First, come see us at our booth. We're our gold sponsor again. We'll be right in the center of the big expo hall. We'll be at booth 1112, 1112. So come see us, come check out the live demos, come meet the people at Jitterbit. We're going to have all kinds of prizes and gifts, but come see us, and don't just see us once, make that your home base. Second, for those of you that are a little bit more technical, come see us at Mega 5 in the Developer Forest, and that's going to be in Moscone West. This is where we're going to have some technical architects that can really dive down into your integration and API questions. For those of you that are education and nonprofit, we'll also be at the Salesforce.org Expo up at the Westin. Now, we have lots and lots of time to meet out with our customers, with our partners, and with our prospects. We're going to have dedicated meeting spaces. We will have suites throughout the entire Dreamforce event where we can meet with you one-on-one. To book a meeting, and this is available to anyone, to book a meeting, go on out to our landing page at jitterbit.com/DF17 and just book a 20 or 30-minute space. You can book it with one of our enterprise architects. You could book it with one of our executives, but we'll sit down and talk one-on-one with you through your integration and API challenges. I mentioned earlier we're going to have tons of prizes and giveaways. And for those of you who are not able to attend, that's okay. We will bring Dreamforce to you. Contact us again through the jitterbit.com/DF17 and let us know that you're not able to come. And we will provide you a condensed summary or even present to you what we're presenting at Dreamforce 17. We can present it to you, your team, or we can just simply answer any of the questions that you have about today's material. On behalf of all of those here at Jitterbit, we cannot tell you how excited we are about this next opportunity at Dreamforce, the biggest technological event that happens all year. I know I'm going to be exhausted at the end of the week, but this is the place where we truly draw our inspiration. We're excited to bring to you the new strategies and the new capabilities available only from Jitterbit around integration and APIs. Please go out to our landing space, book some time with us, meet us at the booth, come to our sessions, check out the live demos. We look forward to seeing you at Dreamforce 17. Thank you.